Zoom interviews were all good. Because you just have to go on site all the time to do interviews and then you just get rejected.
Yeah. Way more convenience to that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I literally had
one job in your whole
life.
One
job in my whole life, and I said, the king of interviews.
Well, no, my success rate not that high. I did the most for my success rate.
No, well, he's the king of interviews. You've done the most.
That's true.
So what next on your? So you published a game. You did a book. So you had so game that you consider as interactive media. You do a book that is like and well podcast visual media. What next? What's the next one?
I don't know if there's anything that different I could do. Not music.
Until I had a guitar, I was trying to learn guitar.
Yeah, but that's that was another thing I was trying to learn. But I have a handicap and as my fingernails very long, I can't cut them short, and so it's be hard.
You can't cut them short.
Too sensitive. If I cut too short, to use the frets, it would. You could have a technique where you just adjust your fingers to it. But I was like, if I learn to play the guitar and I get very good, right? Then what? What was the end?
You think at our age we could learn something like that?
It had to learn new things at a certain age. So like even when I had to do a driving test in Canada, I don't like to learn. Like I find it was very, very, very hard doing a driving test. And I had to study for Canadian citizenship. Relatively easy test, but there was a lot of things to memorize, and so that was something that I didn't want to mess up, and I didn't, but I felt like it was easy to fail. So learning like let's say a language, that's very hard when you're.
I think that's impossible at age, But if you watch children and stuff,
they could learn.
Yeah, they could learn. I think we're at an age where.
Yeah.
Even accepting new technology and things right now, we reach a stage where I kind of shut that myself.
Yeah, you want to just stick to what familiar, right?
Yeah, because I have Windows 10 on one computer and Windows 11 on another one, and I just hate to use that Windows 11 computer.
I like Windows 11, but the thing is that Windows does, or Microsoft does. Update Windows very often and it changes completely. So like if you have Mac OS, so like this is a Mac, Mac OS doesn't really change that much. Like you have updates, I might make it a little bit more neat or like make it look nice or something.
Yeah, because I have iPhone since the 3GS,
really
and the iOS basically just slowly iterating up. So I went from iPhone 6 to 13 this year. And because my iPhone 6, I couldn't have updated past iOS 12, and right now it's iOS 17, and I find it's like the exact same user experience.
But you can put widgets and stuff now, so, and like
it's
customizable
like
screen.
It's barely anything. It wasn't like such a big change, like it completely different to use the phone. It's like so. I was real happy with my 6 because that was a pretty big jump from the 3GS. And then when I get the 13, I was like, so I had that 6 for 8 years, and I get this 13, and I was like, well, it's just like the same thing. It's just like I get a newer phone. It wasn't any.
They have some nice new features in it. So like say a Face ID, which is good.
I hate that right. I want my thumbprint button. So in a few years, it will get the Android have the thumbprint on the screen. So like in 5 years, iPhone will have that.
It could be an option. But the Face ID is good for like, so in Canada I use Apple Pay for almost everything, and it just uses facial recognition to authorize it.
When it's working good, that's in the day. When I lie down in the bed in the night and have my face squeezed with the pillow, so I hold the phone, I don't want to unlock, I had to do so and
put in the password.
Yeah, it's annoying when a long time and I had my 6, I just pick out the phone and have my face squeezed in the pillow, so my finger I knew what and
a small change.
And that alone every night that is just get me vexed.
But it is just something that you just have to. I don't think they were very good. So they might put the option.
They would, since Android have it on the screen, they would eventually do that because
Apple like to wait a few years before they would steal the Android.
So they'll steal it and
claim it new.
I don't want to say perfect it, but
improve it.
Yeah, they would improve it in a way, but and make it more like streamlined, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that's the more problem with Android is it's we're going to shit more for being it had too much options. Something I want simplicity.
Well, that's kind of like how Windows is. So going back to Windows, Windows is kind of like Android in the sense that it's very customizable and there are plenty of options. And Mac is.
And I guess that's how we grow up with having to do all of that. I think the time frame we grow up in and all that make us very good at technology because all the things we had to do to pirate games and stuff. This was 20 years ago when it didn't have any Steam and thing, and you had to buy the game and thing on physically, right? So and back then our parents wasn't going to buy us no game and stuff. So the only way we could have experienced these things was piracy. So it's fine.
You could experience it.
No, you were also involved in this.
I was only playing legally.
Man had memorized the COD CD key. Yes, and implicated. He had memorized that COD CD key boy. That man used to call out that COD CD key from here. Yeah, so my point was based on the time we grew up, we were technologically savvy because of that, because we had to do different things with cracking and stuff and things like that. And I don't know if children right now could be like that because
they're on the phones, so whatever phone.
They're on a phone, but it is just using it and doing things like that. We had to go into deleting DLL and changing DLL and going on and wretched it and all kind of shoppiness. Yeah,
that's why I used a computer, so I do my editing on a computer.
Yeah.
Easier for me to understand and just work with that software. Yeah. I learned some stuff, but I'll learn at a pace where I learn just what I need to do. And
me and also like when I'm making little movies with my daughter each year, so I have not officially learned anything in After Effects. I would just directly seek the one kind of shot I'm trying to do and just watch tutorials specifically on that. Yeah, so instead of actually going through the whole process from the start and learning how to do the thing properly, I was like, okay, how to do this chroma key? Like, alright, okay, so I do the chroma key.
At least you know what the key word is to search.
Yeah.
Like, what is a chroma key, right?
Well, so, it would come up with green screen and thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
like literally every kind of shot that I wanted to thing, I just learned specifically that and do that.
That's a good thing to have. But so if you have those videos, right, and you share it with us, but you keep it somewhere, right? So
I have it. Well,
a CD of it.
No, on the cloud. I have it on a DVD somewhere as well. So I used to I think last 5 years I used to be burning off all her pictures and stuff, but I haven't backed up to any DVD I think for a long time.
Well,
because I have redundant cloud backups now. So I have stuff on the computer and then I have on 2 different Google Drives.
So I started to notice that we have a lot of soft copies of things now. So we move from hardware to soft versions of things. But I feel like now we're trying to go back a little bit to having hard copies of stuff. So we have a lot of electronic pictures, but it's easy to delete and get rid of and lose them. And now we start printing some, so we have some in an album. Videos difficult to keep because let's say you have it on disc and then nobody uses disc anymore. Then and
even those DVDs and stuff we have, those burn DVDs, those flake after a 5 years, you know.
Yeah, so you lose the disc don't work anymore.
It's not a reliable means of storage.
So that's why, you have games, and games supported by, as long as Steam is functional, it should work. But as long as the software that...
A lot of things get delisted.
Right, so stuff now you see people buy games on electronic versions, and they're like, we're taking this out of the library now. So you pay for it and you lose it.
It had the new Spider-Man and Insomniac Spider-Man games, but I remember Ultimate Spider-Man with the cell shaded. This was about early 2000s, just after the Tobey Maguire movies, and that was a real good game, and it doesn't exist legitimately again. It's not on any platforms, it gets delisted.
And a lot of different reasons, but you lose it. But if you had a physical copy, you could have kept it, but some games now would be you have a disc, but this doesn't really have a game
PT and all, and PT...
PT was a...
Yeah, but playable these are literally mean, yeah, but it didn't exist physically, and it only existed on the thing, and as soon as they had things with Kojima and stuff, and the dealers that it was gone, and then people who had it installed on their PS4 and stuff, they were selling the PS4 thing just for that.
Yeah. So those types of formats, like let's say some games and videos, could go away if we ever lose electronic stuff, right? But that's one reason why I like print books. So like the book is in electronic form too, but you have a print book. So if ever it gets, let's say it gets listed, it could happen over time, right? For whatever reason.
Yeah. So
a hard copy still exists.
Yeah. So I have only done prints of the child, my daughter, for her first year. So after her first birthday, I did a whole set of prints, and we have prints in her album there. And I haven't done prints since then. So I had to get on top of that, because I say, well, when she had turned 5, I would do a photo book or something through Amazon
You should do it before we get...
before the apocalypse.
Before the apocalypse.
Yeah, because when the apocalypse happens, we will have to have a physical pictures there. So I always say I'll get around to doing that, and I keep on.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because how we use watching pictures now is, I would just open Google Photos and it could bring up like memories, and I was like, hey, look how
it is nice,
and it could bring it up as
but
videos.
It's temporary,
and
let's say in the future, right?
Yeah.
And let's say she grows up and she has children and stuff.
Yeah.
That cloud stuff might not exist anymore. Like you have access to it.
Well, I think Google big enough that it should always be there.
Well, things change. So like Google would cancel services and be like, okay, this is not a thing anymore. Or if you don't use, let's say you don't use your email address and say this person died, we're gonna just delete all of this stuff because it's taking up space.
Yeah.
Then you can lose it, right? So I'm saying like it have ways that you could could go away.
If they ever stop the service, they're gonna give you like a 6 months to download and back up all the stuff.
But
that's how it'll work.
That's true.
And then they'll have people who are not aware of that.
Yeah, and they would lose stuff. But let's say it's fine to the future and we died, right? And your children have children and they want stuff not there anymore.
But that's how it is. I mean, no, they kind of there physically, but people don't know where it is, if it exists, whatever.
Servers could have shut down.
Yeah, no, it kind of is a similar problem, but different. Because you have your pictures from your grandparents. You know where they're.
I don't think they had, but you probably had. You have from a while back, right?
Well, I have pictures from, my brothers and them when they were young.
Not brothers, like beyond that, like say great grandparents or great grandparents.
Not really. My parents older than yours, so we have. Well, like I have pictures of my grandparents and stuff, but I don't think we have much stuff from too far before my brothers, because my oldest brothers, and they're coming up to like 60 and stuff, so yeah. But again, so I mean, okay, so your point is that it didn't exist to have it.
Yeah, it didn't exist.
Yeah. So, well, the first generation could probably be for like my brothers and them when they was young. At that point, before that, people wouldn't have been wealthy enough to have cameras and things.
I think pictures still exist from the days of early pictures, right? Like when pictures started, they could.
Yeah, they do. But that would be like a one-off. A wealthy person might have that. It wasn't common for the everyday man.
Well, yeah, but things change now. What I mean is that a picture could exist for that amount of time.
Yeah. And
even if it doesn't, and it's at a feed, it could restore it, or you could like take a picture of it and then print another one.
Yeah. So I keep saying I had to do this and all. I would probably pay somebody to do it. Take all the old albums and get the pictures scanned and digitized. I
scan myself. I don't know if I take a picture or scan it, but I have a few of the old pictures that we had. Like my parents would have some pictures.
Yeah, so I scanned a few of them. But with me as a channel,
we have this digital picture frame now, which off right now.
Yeah.
But we put the pictures on that too. So
and have it cycle and stuff.
Yeah, so we have old pictures on it too. So going back to, I think you were asking about what's next, right?
Yeah.
So, for me, I don't know if there's anything different. Probably not music unless I turn out to have a good singing career with my new microphone. Right?
I was expecting that, yeah. So you bring the tripod and you bring your microphone.
So
yeah, but for all we know, they only hear the ceiling fan.
So for me, maybe might be one of the things I did before. And only one thing that really comes to mind is like I want to maybe 2. Like write a new story, but not set in this type of. So it was kind of set in reality.
So you're going to, you mean you want to write a next story that's not about us, that a more general audience would like? That's what you mean? They were trying to say.
That's not me. I mean like more like a fantasy.
Okay. Oh, okay. Alright.
What I'm trying to do is create something not. Well, it will be unique, but I mean, not so different from reality that's too weird. And it's kind of like you need to create something that's good enough to capture the attention of an agent that they would want to publish it. You have to really commit to that if you want to go down.
You had to be able to get time off from your full-time job.
Yeah.
Well, you'll consider leaving it at the
Well, it's good if you let's say you get how they do it with books is that you can get an advance, right? And if your advance is substantial, let's say you get $1 million advance, right?
Yeah, I think you could like submit a portion of your book, and if you like it, you could get the advance based on that. I mean, for a first-time author, probably not.
I don't know if it'll. Yeah, not for first time.
Yeah.
Because they want to see that you have a full manuscript, not an incomplete manuscript. Because everybody else have a full manuscript, so why you should, right? Yeah. A full manuscript, but if they know that you have the potential, maybe you don't have to have a full manuscript. And you get an advance, and if you have an advance now, you can be like, okay, well, I don't need to work. I can really focus on this and try to make it as successful as possible.
I think ChatGPT and AI going to make the process even harder, I think.
Well, yeah, because everybody can now do an AI book.
Yeah. Because I had put in, remember when I put in like the first line, I put in either the first line or a description of the voices or something, and it was like written better than the real voices, like the wording and stuff.
I don't know if they can get the comedy in it, right? Maybe you could add comedy.
No, it had some good stuff. I mean, I had to prompt it directly into that.
Yeah, but that might be the way people write.
So no, that's the thing with how to use the ChatGPT and stuff. You have to work with it, because like I just use it a lot for writing letters of recommendation and stuff, and things like that. I would know what I want out of it, and I would prompt it directly along that, just for it to basically kind of put it together, and then I would edit it and get along the lines of how I want it. So it's not like if you're just getting full AI work. It is like a editing tool basically.
Yeah, well,
that might have cut out your need for editor. I mean,
you might not need an editor anymore. Yeah. So like I was thinking of like copy editors and whatever types of editors you had, because I had 2. Might not be necessary anymore. You might just be able to use AI for it, or even writing like I know the you're gonna have the quality is still gonna be good, but would people still want books that written by an AI? Like you,
and like, especially because it's going to be stealing other people writing styles. Yeah, and that's gonna create another issue.
What I think you could do is maybe say, okay, so I wrote this. Could you improve this? And
so when I write my letter of recommendation stuff, I would like draft out my letter and paste it in ChatGPT and just write fix this.
Yeah.
And it will like fix the grammar, fix the punctuation. It might like if I had like repeated words and stuff, it would use like synonyms and stuff. And well, obviously like sometimes it would be a little excessive and stuff, and then you just have to manually dial it back. Like I was doing a email out to staff about something with the exam supervision, and so the deans and stuff had agreed to take some supervision and stuff. So after all of that, I when I do these things, I like to be transparent of how we come up with the process, or how we assign the amount of periods people get to supervise and things. So when the deans agreed to take some supervision, whatever. And when I take it through the ChatGPT, I think ChatGPT we are fortunate through the gracious something that was real access. I was like, alright, I go down to dial that back a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not just taking the output, it's a tool. I see it as a tool.
Yeah. Unless they improve at the point where it could do things, because right now, I had seen one where it's a voice, but the voice doesn't sound like a robot anymore. It sounds like fluent.
I had sent you that. So the girls in school, they had done a ad for their...
Yeah, well, that's scary.
Yeah, and I was like, where did they get this white girl to read this thing off of there? Like, who voiced like that? like, this cannot be AI because it like enunciating and putting emphasis on like so come let's party and things like that. So, and so and I asked her to say well it was a AI voice thing with the prompts and stuff, and they literally just had to enter it. The only things they would have to play up with the spelling and something like the local words. Like if you spell a local word as is, it might pronounce it as is, because I try the same thing to make it say cat, and it only saying sayat. Because cat CYAT, I couldn't get to say cat by writing CYAT. It's only saying the sayat. I was like, okay, so I had to play up with the spelling and things like that. But other than that, it's able to enunciate, and it's not saying. So previously, text to voice was like Microsoft Sam, and it just saying each word. It just saying each word and not putting it together. With the AI actually getting kind of scary that, and with like deepfake and stuff, real good.
Well, if now a ChatGPT could write a response to a question that you have, it could also speak, right? And AI can speak. Yeah. So then you can't. It was like a person talking back to you. So we might have to consider the AI apocalypse. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that is a machine. But we there now.
But the fact that we had a global pandemic kind of suggests that the zombie apocalypse is still more likely. Yeah? So it's still number one.
It's possible, but it would have to be one.
Number one.
It would. Well, a disease, yes, is possible. To be zombie-like, it's very specific.
It don't have to be literally the living dead, but it could just
it could be a disease.
They could so just like lose brain function and rabid and things like that. Still counts.
That's real because like it would have it in animals. Let's say rabies, right?
Yeah.
And rabies is like primarily it can affect people too, but not in the same way as animals. But the animals become rabid. But so you have something called zoonosis, and zoonosis is a disease that could transfer from an animal to a person, between animal and people. Which is kind of where the word zombosis come from.
Yeah, as you say that, I was like, this something is like a sequel.
So, and something I write about for work. And these things, if you're exposed to it enough, let's say it's a virus, it could change. And in changing it, it becomes that traditionally it would not have affected people that way, but now you have rabid people. And that's the new disease.
Yeah, like,
it's a novel virus, like a novel coronavirus.
Yeah, like how COVID and thing come across it mutated and come across the people.
Yeah, so it's not impossible. It's not. I don't think it's very likely, but it's possible. So.
You know, we all know it's just climate change because this place is real hot.
Yeah,
I sweat it.
Yeah.
Climate is it's gonna be climate. It had to be climate.
Climate change.
Yeah, why? Because you say it had no snow in Canada for Christmas.
In Toronto, well, Canada probably had it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, by you.
For the entire of the end of the year of 2023, it didn't have any snow until maybe just when we left or something. And I think it has like a snowstorm now. But for months, they didn't have it.
Because 2008, I went to Canada for before Christmas, and the whole place was snow, and this was like Scarborough, right where we are. So these things are all scary, right?
Yeah, but maybe it's just this year, but it was significant this year for sure.
Oh, and it had snow last year? Well, 2022.
So 2022, it did, yeah.
Okay.
So every year I was there, it did have snow.
Because remember,
before Christmas.
Every year, record heat wave, So.
Like
Canada is the unbearable.
I mean, Canada will be kind of warm then.
Yeah.
So I'll be in cool conditions. While Trinidad get incinerated.
Well, I'll get incinerated for half the year when all is summer.
Summer not that bad though.
What time sun is set and thing? Sun is right on set?
Maybe like 9 to 10 or something, like late.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get as hot as Trinidad, I think. It gets warm, but not that hot. And you can still kind of stay inside. And Toronto has AC. Not everyone can has AC, but you can survive with some AC.
Yeah, well, I had AC home, and I call them, like I get trapped into this podcast and I didn't tell her. Like, let me just tell her. Hello? Yeah. Shaz tricked me into podcasting.
I just asked you to be in it.
Yeah.
Nothing much.
I call in just now. No, we nearly done. Alright, yeah. Alright, later.
Alright, so Rixon need to go now. So